Man, it's a really mixed crowd here, pretty awesome. Everything from the main stage to the Bass Haven and Digital Oasis. I mean, I'm pretty surprised how we had Kill the Noise tonight on the main stage. Of course, you've got Cascade later. You've got Andy C playing now in the background just after Noisia, etc, etc, Bro Safari. It's been a real mixture of music, and yesterday was amazing to play here with obviously the setting in the background, and the audience and the crowd here were just amazing. I played a really mixed set for the bass stage, so it was an awesome reception, awesome crowd, man. I mean, drum and bass has been a root of a lot of things for like over the last 15 years, and it seems to sort of like rear its head up every now and again, but staying solid, you know, throughout the sort of underground and stuff, and provides a really good route. And I think underground bass for like these kind of festivals, as I said, just had Noisia on, that played a mixture of kind of drum and bass as a core set, but some other new stuff they've been doing which wasn't drum and bass, and I think that, you know, as we've seen with dubstep over the last few years, and the whole everything from 100 BPM up to 175 and everything in between, it seems more accepted and more moshed together into a melting pot and mosh pit than ever that I've seen it. So I think like hand in hand everything's working together. I mean, Andy C just played Glastonbury last night, 80,000 people around the stage playing pure drum and bass. You know, I even heard Tiesto last night play some like heavier stuff than I've heard him play before. So it's a really good melting pot on sound. I mean, even Riot Cascade, who's playing tonight, you know, one of his first releases, drum and bass. So it's come a long way, and it's inspired a lot of producers. A lot of people that I meet, producers that are current now, grew up on that. Everything from management to sort of production to the audience. So it's a really exciting time. No one's ever asked me a question about my family background. I mean, I grew up around music, more actually in Liverpool, in the Merseybeat. My uncle had a band with Ringo Starr from the Beatles, so I sort of grew up around that kind of raw, organic Liverpool early sort of rock sound. And then, yeah, my father was also in the music industry, but he was sort of more mainstream, sort of pop in the 70s, completely different background than myself. It's more underground, yeah. I grew up sort of a single parent family, sort of making music in my bedroom, pretty much how I see a lot of producers start anyway, from the underground scene. And so my inspiration came out to going to parties like this back in the day, where it was all about the people, it was all about getting together in a field somewhere, pretty organic, you know, going from sort of the early days of production right to this massive, amazing production and events like Paradiso. So that's been my inspiration, is actually going out and seeing the audience get off on what you've, you know, put your heart and blood into in the studio. I mean, I grew up on so many different types of music, from sort of like hip hop to funk, anything that had like, you know, the groove within the track, which I think that when it comes down to it is the most important part of the music, is making people dance. You know, and hip hop was so raw and rugged, and next to sort of rock and hip hop, you know, drum and bass had that sort of intensity and energy of just like making crowds lose control. And I probably was the first person I did drum and bass warfare, which was bringing in hip hop into a world it hadn't been before. And then I equally did that a couple of years ago with a dubstep track. I went to Atlanta and worked with Deb Prez and did a original re-recording of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, and we re-recorded that and did it into dubstep. And I've just done a track now that's just about to come out on Circus Records with Dr. P and Method Man. It's called The Pit, Mosh Pit basically. It's about crowds losing their mind and Method Man tearing the roof off and all that. So, you know, hip hop's always been a core thing for me, and that's why I've loved, you know, bringing that within the different sort of underground genres as well, just to give a different twist and flip to it all. Well, Dogs on Acid was a sort of forum, social forum set up years ago. Originally Bad Company, DJ Fresh, myself, Andy C got involved, Groove Rider. It's been a site for people just all around the world to come together, talk about music, talk about parties that are going on, upload stuff, comment on people's tracks and what's going on out there in the scene. But it was kind of, although that's rife now and all over the place, that was one of the first websites that was like the the birth of all of that.
What year did you start that?
Well, that would have been late 90s, but yeah, but I didn't get involved until the early sort of 2000s. Right, I mean, I started in sort of mid 2000s, went over to New York, and I did an album called Chaos, the Anti-Acoustic Warfare, and worked with some people that I grew up with, inspired by people like Redman, MOP, Capone Noriega, and worked with a London Philharmonic Orchestra, like a 100-piece orchestra, and put this crazy hip-hop album project together, all about the future, and each of them had their own sort of like stage to sort of put their message across within a song, and that was amazing. And from that time I set up a label called Breakbeat Chaos with DJ Fresh, and we met Pendulum and signed them for their first album. Of course, they're now Knife Party, just ripping up the whole scene as it is at the moment. Worked with Nero on their early stuff, Chasing Status on their early stuff. So I felt that, and that label was always, it was like a core heart point and part of the dance underground scene now, and a lot of those artists are on that label and now like massive now, but keeping it really underground and real, but just it's appealing to a much bigger audience. We releasing music, me and DJ Fresh originally, it's about us. We're producers, we're not just label. We didn't think, let's just start a label for a business point. It was about the love of the music. And there was a moment in time, probably like 7-8 years ago, where we wanted also to give a platform to some other artists and push their music forward. And as I said, we had early releases from Nero, Chasing Status, Roll Deep. We've had Casper remixes on there. We've had all kinds of stuff, and Pendulum, of course, and Fresh, and myself, Adam F. And it's not just about continuously releasing music. Right now we're making more music ourselves, because it takes a lot out of you developing other artists, and so actually at the moment we're not just putting out more music on the label, we're just concentrating on our own music and obviously enjoying the moment that's out there at the moment, playing and making new tracks. Wow, what does England not have that the States has? I mean,
like whether it's fast food.
Whether it's fast food, I don't know. Yeah.
Different.
Damn. Yeah, root beer, burrito, breakfast burrito. I don't know, man. I love, it's about the music at the end of the day, and of course, food goes hand in that. I love food, so I love food out here. There's the portions are a bit big. But it's all good. I mean, I come out here, I love the different venues. Obviously I come from places like Glastonbury, which is like historical, legendary, like festivals, and that to come to somewhere like Paradiso is comparable in like this epic, amazing location, which is like Glastonbury is like spread out over incredible fields in England, and that's what I feel when I come to Paradiso. I've heard such good things about this. Of course, you've got Red Rocks, you've got the certain venues that are just incredible, and with all the other festivals that have been happening in America over the last few years, just the EDC Vegas, the production is incredible now. And it's nice to come over here, and because of my love for hip hop and of course all the trap stuff that's been going and smashing it over here and everything. For me, it's great to come here because of all the different influences I like in music. It's just like a perfect melting pot of bringing something different from the UK and combining it with the US audience and US studio and producers and stuff. I like coming here and working with producers over here as well, because you get that UK US sort of melting pot of sound. And I think everybody will say that the UK has been a big influence on different types of music over the decades, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
obviously, so it's great to be here for that. My next venue that I'm playing, actually, it's in San Diego. I'm playing in San Diego in a few weeks, and then there's an EDC I'm playing at in Puerto Rico, back over to Europe in between that. So I'm excited, but right now, obviously, I'm here and enjoying the rest of the night at Paradiso. Yeah. I'm Adam F, Paradiso 2013, and you're on Magnetic Mag.